Hey, it's MK, and I am here with another Follow a Sketch February layout for you guys today. This is the sketch that I will be working with. There's a couple alterations that I did not do on the sketch, just because I felt like I've already done that on a couple of layouts, and I really didn't want my album starting to look the same. So I'm going to adapt it to what I want. So I pulled out my gold bulky bin, and I'm just sharing it with you guys because I know that I have mentioned my bulky bins before. These are just the fabric bins that came in my scrap box, which used to be called the original scrap box, and now it's called a dream box, but mine still says scrap box. And mine were canvas bags before they started putting the plastic ones in. Or bins, I'm sorry. And so I was just sharing that with you guys. So from Pretty Little Studio, I have a couple of leaves and things like that. I also had some tags and labels. Not tags, I apologize, just labels. And then I've got these rub-ons from 49 and Market. I think there was 2 different collections of rub-ons. Actually make that 3 now that I've got those 40 bits. And then from Minte, I have these cut apart cards, and I think I'm going to use the film strips on them. I saved them actually for the other side, but I think in this case the film strips will work. I also have these plaques and outside photos of a church that we found in Nassau. I don't know how to say that, you guys. I apologize. And we just thought it was absolutely gorgeous. We spent lots of time in there. Also from Minte, I have a plaid print. And then I also have a packaging that I'm going to use on my paper. I have this Close to My Heart cardstock that I'm going to match some of my photos with. And then I'm not sure, I think this was P13, you guys. It looks a lot like Minte, but the way that the drawings are, the hand drawings, that reminds me a lot of P13, but I'm going to use the wood grain on this one. And then from Close to My Heart, I want to say 2021, I have this gorgeous hexagon print, and it's got a foiled effect to it, a foiled specialty effect to it. So I brought in some more of that color, but I only found it in this glitter, which is also a Close to My Heart glitter paper. I really loved Close to My Heart's glitter paper because one sheet really goes a long way, and they put 3 shades of the same color in their pack. And so you had a light, a medium, and a dark, and they lasted forever. It was the perfect instead of giving you 3 of the same thing. All right. Also from Minte, I have this chipboard sticker sheet, and I was going to use a couple tiny words from there. I just felt like there was a bunch down here that really I'm able to use on this layout to talk about a church, right? I don't really have a lot to say about the church. I didn't find, I didn't find a whole lot of information on it. I'm going to still keep looking for information because this isn't my only layout. I also have pictures of the inside of the church that I would like to scrapbook. I am kind of curious if you guys, is that disrespectful to take pictures inside a church and want to remember its beauty and all things? For me, I think that so much heart and soul is poured into a church that I want to remember it, and I want to take a picture of it. And I don't know if, I felt like as I was taking pictures, I was like, is this disrespectful that I'm just taking pictures of this church to remember its beauty later in life? Or is it respectful because of the fact that I want to remember this specific church? I mean, I may never get to see this church again, but it was gorgeous. It had 2 organs, one on both ends of the church. The pews were beautiful, made out of wood. I mean, the flooring, it's just all around. It was a magnificent church, and I really wanted, to remember it and take the pictures of its beauty. But after a while, from one end of the church to the other, I felt like I was disrespecting something, and I'm not sure. So I thought that in this video, I would ask and see what you guys think. I really love architecture. I really do. And of all things, where I feel like the architecture shines the most, it is in churches. But are you meant to just view it and see it and not, take pictures of it? Or are you, do you take pictures of it and remember it for life? I'm just, well, not that you're not going to remember it for life. That's not right. That was wrong. Not that you're not going to remember it for life, because obviously, you're going to remember it, but will you remember the details without those little photos, right? Or will it just be pews made out of wood and not remember the exact detail of those pews, right? Or how grand the organ was. I can say that there was an organ at each end, but the grandness of the organs, it just won't be told in its trueness without the photo, right? So anyways, I was just asking, and honestly wanting your guys' opinion on, if you visit churches, is that something that you guys do on your vacations? Is that something that is a stopping point, like along the way? You run into a church. Do you go in it? Do you view it? Do you admire it? All those things. And for me, it's just the architecture and how it was built and everything, the lines, everything else. Philadelphia was one of my favorite places to take pictures of churches. One of my favorite places. So anyways, I was just curious. All right. So I have done all of my fussy cutting of the photos. I took the plaques that I saw around the church. There was some on the outside, some in the foyer as you walk in, and then some on the inside. So as I was taking pictures of these, I decided that I was going to cut them down, because that has been a thing this month. I've really enjoyed cutting elements out of my pictures and using them as an embellishment. It's just been a joy. So one of the things that I wanted to do is, I have a lot of blue from the hexagon page on one side, and then I wanted to bring in more of this blue by adding it to this wood grain paper. So I'm going to take all these rub-ons and I'm going to rub them on to this wood grain paper and decorate it. Kind of like how My Mind's Eye used to have their wood grain. They would have the wood grain in its entirety, and then they would have like an overlay on top of it where there was lace pieces on it, or there was floral pieces, or a cute little saying on top of the same wood grain. And sometimes they were back to back, so you could choose just the wood grain or the wood grain with the overlay on top. So I just thought it was kind of cool of an idea, and it made me remember My Mind's Eyes, old paper. I really wish that company would come back. That was one of the companies that actually got me started into outside of the box thinking with scrapbooking. I just have to contribute that to My Mind's Eye, and then further down the road, I have to contribute it to a retreat. Not gonna lie. My scrapbooking has definitely taken a turn. If you guys go back and watch a couple of my earlier videos, my scrapbooking has definitely taken a turn. I hope for the better, but I do remember where I started, and part of it was My Mind's Eye, and of course close to my heart, right? So anyways, as I decorate my wood grain, I actually have a rub-on down at the bottom, and I don't figure it out until the end of the video, that I didn't actually rub on. So yeah, I just left the rub-on there and continued to move on. So I think these little paint swatches were actually from the Gardenia collection, and I believe that the flowers were from the Spectrum Sherbert. Was that a Spectrum Sherbert collection? It was from the Rainbow collection before the Gardenia collection. I know the word Spectrum was in there, and I don't remember if it was Sherbert or not. I apologize, you guys. So many different, I can't believe it either. I feel like I just played with that collection last year, but so many other collections have come and gone through my craft room that it's hard to remember specifics of all of them unless I see a packaging name. It's bad. It's terrible. I should be better at that. All right, so I've almost got all of my little elements. I'm not really sure where my pictures are going to go, so I'm going to make sure that tiny little bits are everywhere. I'm okay if some of the things are covered up, but I did want to make sure that I had, a lot of bits here and there and everywhere, so they were peeking out if they should get covered up. So again, I wasn't sure exactly where my pictures were going to fall or anything like that. So, but yeah, I really had fun creating this pattern in my paper with all these rub-ons, and getting them used up, basically, instead of trying, because I probably would have, kept on going and using 3 or 4 rub-ons at a time, and 6 layouts later, they were all the same. So, coffee time. So for this one, I'm just going to put this whole piece of paper down on my layout, but I am going to stick the glitter paper underneath my, oh no, this one goes on top. I'm going to put the other one. And the thing about this glitter paper is it's not true 12 by 12. So I do have to trim my paper down just a little bit. But yeah, my paper was 12 by 12 for once because it's white daisy cardstock. But my glitter paper, the one thing that I have always found out about the Close to My Heart glitter paper, I'm not sure if it's true on others, but it is always just a hair shy of being 12 inches long. So I just wanted to trim my layout down so that way it wasn't completely noticeable. So now I'm going to take these Stampin' Up! Little stickers from my bulky bin and go ahead and create a border between my glitter and my paper, so that way it just looks like I did a little bit of stitching. I don't really know how noticeable it is. I like the effect in real life, but I'm not really sure how noticeable you guys can see it. So, okay, and then I'm going to overlap my vertical photo with my horizontal photo because I had that awning that it was kind of an eyesore, but then again, it's also the same color as the paper line that I chose. Actually, I didn't choose just one paper line, but you get what I mean. It does match the papers, or I should say, I didn't really pick out all these papers. This was another one of those scrap kits that I put together based off of a color scheme with no pictures intended at all. And when I was going through all of the little page kits that I put together with my scraps, I pulled this one out and just thought, well, this is nice and soft and elegant for the church layouts. Now for this side, I know it doesn't look anything like the other side. And even though I'm going to add a few of the same elements, I'm going to add the glitter, I'm going to add the stickers, the border stickers, it doesn't look anything like the other side. And I'm okay with that because there is going to be another page in between these 2 pages as well as a pocket page. So it's not like they are a true double page layout in my album. So I was okay with it looking slightly different. All right. Well, that didn't work out really well. So I'm okay if my glitter is not the same on both sides. This is just one of those use up all the scraps. I didn't even cut down my plaid paper so I could save it for something else. I didn't cut down my packaging. I just used it all because that was the whole point, is I wanted to use up all of these elements. And yeah, it's just one of those things where, I just want to use it up. All right, so now that I have all of my elements down on the layout, it is time to start decorating. I am going to go ahead and go and put these border stickers, and I don't have enough to flank both sides of my wood grain. So for my far side, my right side, I'm actually going to cut one in half and just have it in a couple blank areas where there's no rub-ons. So just go down the blank areas of the wood grain. And I thought that was kind of cool. Just makes it look like it's stitched only in a few spots. And then I'm going to finish off with the other sticker on the other side. So I've got one that goes all the way down and the other one that's only in a few places here and there. So I don't know if I hold it up or if that's just at the end. But I'm all done with those. I'm excited to finally use up all these stickers. All these stickers actually came from a paper pumpkin, not just one, but a couple paper pumpkin kits. So these ones here were supposed to be behind like a card cluster, and then you just saw the leaves and then everything else filled in the circle. I thought that they would look really good as, again, in the background, just like they were intended. For these clusters. So I actually ended up, I don't know why I ended up with so many extras, or I decided to do something else with the card kit, and I had these stickers left over. So I'm not really sure. So here I am just trying to figure out how to place all of the elements. I know I'm not going to end up using all of the leaves that I picked out, but I do like picking out everything that I might potentially use. So that way it's available and I don't have to keep going back to the packaging thinking that there might have been something better in the packaging when I already have all my choices right out for me, if that makes sense. So once I get my leaves where I think they are, I add a little bit more of this coppery color into the layout. I really like the addition of this coppery metallic color. I just felt like it was the perfect touch for these layouts, and I pulled it in because of the foiling that was on that hexagon paper. I just wanted to bring it in elsewhere, even though it's just a teeny tiny little element that I brought in, and then of course the tiny little bit of glitter also helps that shine as well. So another element that I'm bringing in, I bought some like gold, rose gold stars, and they came with these little leaves, again from Stampin' Up. And so I pulled out these leaves. I have to say I bought those stars thinking that they were pretty cool, and I have never used them. So that is on my list to use. But I ended up using a couple of their leaves, so that made me happy. All right, so I'm just now trying to figure out if that is going to be it for me. Thought I would add this little bit in real quick to try to finish off this corner. Yeah, and at this point I have stopped looking at the sketch, to be honest, because I don't really give this layout a title. I did not do anything decorative wise based off of the sketch, if that makes any sense. I from this point, I pretty much winged it from here. I'm going to fill in all of my gaps with all of these little label bits, not because I planned on writing on the labels, but I just thought that they were good foundation pieces, and it makes it look like all of this greenery is growing around all these labels. So this pink, no, it's not Pink Fresh. These labels are actually from the Grateful Heart collection, and then the leaves are from the Wildflowers collection. So I like that they were two different collections, but they mixed really, really well together. So now I'm going to add my little tiny word stickers, and I didn't realize how not so tiny they were. So I'm going to struggle a little bit trying to get some of them to fit in and not look like they don't belong. I glued that long leaf down with adhesive, liquid glue. So I kind of had to rip it back up to get my tiny word sticker to go where I wanted it to go. And then where I wanted some of the stickers to go, especially behind some of the elements, you really couldn't read them. So I had to put them on top of the elements. I'm okay with that, but at the same time, it just seemed like, oh, that's not really where I wanted it. Like this one here that says stand still. I wanted it on the label, but it was just being covered up too much. All right, and then the last thing I'm going to do for this layout is add a little bit more of it's a gold. I really didn't have a rose gold sequins, but I felt like they matched pretty well. So I'm going to add these self-adhesive sequins from Close to My Heart from ages ago. and just scatter them throughout. It feels really good to use these up because, for one, I don't do sequins a whole lot. I don't know why. Sequins and enamel dots just aren't a necessity. That's why they're part of my dice game, to help me remember to use them up, basically, more than anything. So speaking of my dice game, well, I'm almost done anyways, but I do a once a month challenge I started a once a month challenge over on my Facebook group. I roll the dice to build a page, or help me build a page. You can add or take away anything that you want. There are no real rules. And then I have another list for the dice, one list per die. And it's listed 1 through 6, and one of the dice represents things that I need to use up that I have collected over the years and have forgotten about, and then the other one are tooling that might have been forgotten about back in the day, or I just don't remember to bring them out and use them. So anyways, go join me over there. I try to make a video of the layout that I'm going to use. Oh, here's where I figure out that I didn't take my, like, why is this rub-on shiny? Oh, I didn't actually rub it on. I did not know that. So anyways, but yeah, I try to do the video for the dice game, and then that way people can see how I interpreted the dice. And then I've got a couple people playing along in an album, so you can see where everyone takes the challenge and just has fun with it. It's super fun. All right, you guys, so that is my layout for today. I love how it turned out. I love sketches like this where I get to use big blocks of paper and use them up and get them. I love the fact that they were all mix and matched from various different companies. I probably could have done a better job of slicing them and dicing them and mixing them for real. But I liked the way that they looked together, just like this. So, and then I knew that my pictures or my pages weren't really going to be seen in the album together. So I was fine them looking similar but not exact. It was perfect. They're perfect companion pages. All right, you guys, again, don't forget to check out the links that I have down below. I have a playlist link for everyone here on YouTube following along with Follow a Sketch February, as well as the Facebook group for Sandy's Facebook group, which is Scrapping Reflections, where she has all the sketches posted, and everyone that isn't on YouTube that is following along is posting over there. All right, you guys, again, thank you so much, and I will check y'all later. Bye.